Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is really breaking down Bronwyn Newport, she came out swinging at the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, almost like a Golden Girl newbie. But I think that facade is quickly crumbling down, and we're starting to see her for who she truly is, which I think is kind of very insecure, projects a lot, wishy washy, doing the absolute most, fighting with everybody, just kind of weird, bizarre behavior. So we'll break it down. And we also have now found out that her and her husband are being sued for $360,000 after her dogs allegedly attacked two delivery drivers. And it also was revealed that they live separate states, separate homes, on and off for years throughout their marriage. And we also know that there's more to be revealed. But before we dive into all of the juicy details, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It is a free, easy way to support the channel, and I would really appreciate it. So, with that, let's go. So, this is according to Reality Blurb. It says, so far, Bronwyn Newport has caused quite a stir on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Not only is she feuding with Heather Gay, but there also has been much said about her dynamic with her husband Todd Bradley. Now it seems Todd has a lawsuit on his hands after his dogs allegedly attacked an Instacart driver. Sadly, there are said to be multiple instances of attacks. This comes as fans who have already watched the latest episode are weighing in on the stern way he treated his wife and also how he reacted to her castmates when they joined them for an anniversary trip. As fans of the show know, Bronwyn and Todd have 6 fur babies, all of which are boxers. Now the US Sun has obtained court documents that show Todd has been sued twice in the past couple of years over dog attacks. One of the lawsuits is from February, and it concerns a female Instacart driver who says she was attacked. The attack is said to have happened in August of 2022 at their Utah mansion. According to court docs filed on February 28th, 2024, during the delivery, she was suddenly attacked by one of Bradley's dogs, which was on the property. It also says she was attacked, bitten, and scratched by the dog, and she sustained significant physical injuries, suffering both special and general damages, including but not limited to medical expenses, pain and suffering, mental anguish, emotional trauma, permanent disfigurement, loss of earning capacity, lost wages, and loss of capacity and enjoyment of life. Oof. The Instacart driver also claimed the dogs had attacked other people on the property. As a result of her injuries, she was suing for strict liability and negligence as she believes Todd's disregarded or otherwise failed to contain his dogs or prevent them from attacking. The suit also accused Todd of failing to maintain proper control of his dogs and to provide reasonable care. She claimed he hadn't issued a warning about the dogs. She requested special and general damages of no less than $600K, and she wants a ruling to be decided on by a jury. Todd issued an official response to the lawsuit in April, and he denied the claims. He's requesting that judge dismiss the lawsuit. Look, this is legal, all alleged, but if I'm on your property and I'm doing a service, I'm not like, trespassing on your property. I'm delivering Instacart, your goods and services, and your dog attacks me. That is your fault. Your dog should have been put away. There should have been signs. A person like an Amazon delivery person or an Instacart or anybody who is willfully and lawfully on your property, you should contain your dogs. Now, this makes me think and question because we know in the last episode, Bronwyn says that she was attacked by a dog at the dog park because, the owner, in her words, was on their cell phone in their car, not listening to the dog in her weird, very dramatic, over the top performative voice that she has. I think that I'm questioning that story. Did her dog attack the other dog first? Did her own dogs attack her? Because I think it's very bizarre, and I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in conspiracy that it's now coming out that their dogs have allegedly attacked multiple people. And then all of a sudden, now Bronwyn is on the show and she has multiple dog bites and is claiming that a random dog at a dog park bit her while their owner was on their phone in their car. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that's not true because I don't have any proof that's not true, but it does make me question the validity of that story given the fact that they're being sued now. Did her own dogs attack her? Did her dogs attack the dog first? Because it seems more like her dogs are the aggressors. So now that's just putting that into question. Who knows? Okay, let's keep going. This case, however, remains ongoing with the initial discovery set for early December. The other attack also happened in 2022 and concerns an Amazon driver. The man sued in April of 2023. In this lawsuit, he alleged the victim said he was suddenly attacked by Bradley's dogs, which were on the property. According to the lawsuit, the man was attacked, bitten, and scratched by the dogs. Because of this, he suffered significant physical injuries, suffering both special and general damages, including but not limited to basically everything the first person did. He also claimed he was aware that the dogs had attacked other people. He was seeking no less than $300K for special and general damages. However, this case was dismissed after a reported mutual settlement was reached. So they paid him basically for that one. They paid him to go away and for whatever. So at least that man who was big got some money for his stuff because dog bites, they're nothing to play with. They can be fatal, they can disfigure you, they're highly painful, nothing to play with. So yikes. Todd, who is said to have a net worth of $45 million, lives in a $6 million mansion he purchased in 2021. Now, also given these allegations that have come out with the lawsuits, it was also revealed that Todd and Bronwyn live separately at times. Whether she lives in Utah, he lives in New York, he's always traveling. Also on the after show, Angie made the joke that like, oh, not even a joke, she kind of just like said it that like Todd was looking to buy her and her husband's house. He would move into their house and basically leave Bronwyn in where they live, so living separately down the road. A lot of bizarre stuff. We've talked a lot about his behavior towards her. He is hyper controlling. He's very dismissive. He puts her down. And this is, again, just my opinion on this. I think that they've been saying how they fight a lot. I think she does a lot of projection. I think she's projecting a lot of her issues with her husband onto Lisa Barlow. It might sound weird, but hear me out. We saw the last episode where Bronwyn lost her mind on Lisa because Lisa just put her in the other group on the same girls' trip. Everybody had their own room. It was just different villas. Bronwyn, you are a grown woman with basically an adult child at this point, and you are losing your mind being like, Lisa, it's not about the villas. I want to be with you. I want you with me. Why can't you just say that you hear me and validate me? Why are you dismissing me? And blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, whoa. Like, even my best friend in this life, I would not be like, oh my God, I just want you with me. How dare you put me in another villa? Why are you dismissing my feelings? Why can't you just validate? Like, cuckoo for Cocoa Puff stuff. I think that everything she's saying to Lisa is what she wishes she could say to her husband because her husband is the one who dismisses her. Her husband is the one who shuts her down. Her husband is the one who allegedly doesn't really even live with her. He's always traveling. He's always in New York or out of the country or in a different city traveling for work and he's never home. So it's like, are you mad at Lisa or are you mad at your husband and you're projecting that frustration on her? Also, why would Lisa Barlow take your feelings into consideration when she's hosting the girls' trip when you sure as hell didn't take her feelings in consideration when you hosted the Palm Springs trip when it came to her versus Whitney? We all saw you were on the phone with Lisa and you said, well, I've already invited Whitney and Jason and Justin. I've already invited Whitney and Justin. So you made it very clear that you were on Whitney and Justin's side when Whitney and Justin and Lisa and her husband were beefing. And then you said, are you going to be okay? Basically being like, if you can't get in line, then you can't come on the trip because I've already aligned myself with Whitney and Justin. And then we also saw Bronwyn talking to Whitney being like, will you be okay seeing Lisa? Will your husband be okay seeing, John? So don't act like you were on Whitney's side. So on Lisa's side. So why should Lisa go above and beyond to put you in the same villa area as her when, like you said, you know Lisa longer, she brought you onto the show, you have more of a history with her, but literally in point 0.2 seconds, you turned your back on her and you were team Whitney. Basically being like, if you don't fall in line with this, then Whitney and Justin can come, but you and John can't. And then your husband literally scolded John and Lisa, being like, if Lisa doesn't get it together, then she can leave. So why would Lisa Barlow go out of her way to make sure you're in her villa? Grow up, Bronwyn. Supposedly you're an adult. Supposedly you're so cultured and you have all this money and all these things. Well, money can't buy you class or brains or emotional intelligence, apparently. And get it together. Your behavior, in my opinion, it's weird. It's bizarre. It's projecting. It's all over the place. You're two-faced as hell. In my opinion, the whole thing that happened, honestly, I think you're the reason why Angie got kicked out of Meredith's bat mitzvah. If you didn't backstab Brittany, Brittany was just making a joke about she felt like what's her name? Angie was basically calling her a slut when she was like, "Oh, you're doing 3 different guys. Well, if you're saying that about me, then what are you doing?" That was a private key conversation moment. And then you turned around and you told Angie literally 5 minutes later, and that's what set Angie off. And in my personal opinion, I think the whole like high body count, that to me, that's corny. I know a lot of y'all are like, "Oh my God, it's amazing." Like, that's corny to me. That's just how I feel about it. It was tired and corny. Anyway, though, but you went and you did that. That was so dirty. And then that's what popped everything off. If you had not played in Britney's face like that and backstabbed her, they probably could have talked it out and got to a resolution. So, Bronwyn, miss me with all this. You're a weirdo. I don't believe your dog bite story. I think your own dogs bit you or your own dogs instigated it, given the fact that you've been sued multiple times over your dogs attacking people. I think you need to get some therapy for yourself and couples therapy for you and your husband. You also lose your mind on the previews. We'll see it next week when you're like, you want to talk about my husband and our issues? Let's talk about the real stuff and the infidelity and the stuff I've really gone through with Todd. So that's why you're big mad, because your husband is never around. Allegedly, he's been cheating on you. You said infidelity. We'll see if that is true, because sometimes in the previews, they kind of play with us. They'll say something, but then it's not that. Let's just pretend it is what it is. You're saying your husband has infidelities. Your husband doesn't really live with you. He's always away. Your house is full of dog crap. You have all the money in the world, but you don't have money for a pooper scooper. Like, I'm confused. To me, when people have the means to live in a clean home and they don't, that is because of something that is mentally and emotionally going on. And I'm not being disrespectful or trying to be funny about that. But like people who are hoarders, people who have very messy or disorganized or uncleaned houses, usually it's a emotional or mental factor of what's being manifested. I'm not talking about like, you're running around and your house gets a little messy. Like, of course, people's houses get messy and all that stuff. But like, to have a mansion full of dog crap, even if you don't want to clean it, you have the means to have somebody else do it. I'm not saying that's right, but like, if you have the means to like a housekeeper or whatever the case may be, and you don't, that's more of a mental, emotional issue being manifested in the way in which you live. Okay. So there's a lot going on with you, Bronwyn Boo Boo. You're also on here lying on Britney's Broadway career. No, Britney never said she was a Broadway star. She said she was on Broadway, and it turns out she was telling the truth. And it was confirmed on Watch What Happens Live. She was telling the truth. And all you have to do is Google it. And Britney even said on the after show, Bronwyn told me off camera she knew I was on Broadway. And then all of a sudden, Bronwyn's like, I'm producing Broadway shows. Come audition for me. You're weird. You're whack, Bronwyn. Something is off. I said it from day one. Everybody was like, oh my God, Bronwyn's amazing. I was like, no, she's a weirdo. Something is off. And I don't mean this in a mean or malicious way. I don't know her. It's not personal. I'm just giving my opinion based on the persona that she plays on a reality TV show. So I know I can go in, I know I can be shady, but I don't mean it in a malicious way. I'm just giving my opinion based on how they're acting on a reality show. So I want to know what you guys think about this. What do you think about, Bronwyn saying her husband is cheating on her or has cheated on her, them not really living together like that? the dog poop, the dog bites, being sued, how controlling he is, and her sort of mental meltdowns where she is just being super, super messy, stabbing people in the back, being toothpaste, just like Heather said. Heather called it from day one, and I agreed with Heather. Heather was right. She had a gut feeling about Bronwyn, so did I, and I agree with it. And now we're kind of seeing Bronwyn's little facade melt. So I want to know what you guys think. Are you watching the show? What are your thoughts? And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.